What's going on, guys? It's Kyle with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today I am finally able to do the review of the Kunwu TAO. This knife has really impressed me. Now, I would have never even knew this knife existed if it wasn't for my good friend and brother, Kevin Lefty EDC. He had found out about this on Kickstarter and then messaged me and Jake. He was like, guys, I think this is going to be a total win. And one of the reasons it's a total win is because of the value. And we want to talk a little bit more about that. But, I mean, we've got a titanium frame lock front flipper and back flipper with M390 and deep carry pocket clip. And it was seriously $135. And so, obviously, me and Jake were like, yeah, that's a deal. Now, I had never experienced Kunwu knives before. They do have a few other different models, but it intrigued me and intrigued Kevin. And so, yes, I went ahead and purchased it. The Kickstarter campaign was a huge success. They exceeded their goal. And so they made this and a mini TAO, which the mini TAO is quite a bit smaller when you look at pictures comparing the two. I'll see if I can't put a picture right here. And so that one did not appeal to me at all because, you know, you guys know me, I like the big knives. So obviously I went with the full size. Now, first off, a titanium front flipper and back flipper with M390 steel. You've got this really nice orange peel, maybe if I can show it, orange peel on the scales. Deep carry pocket clip that does seat deep carry. Matter of fact, a little bit more than just into the butt of the knife. Nice designed backspacer. Got a little bit of pop of color there with the lanyard, I guess, slot. It's not a hole, which I really like that. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It also come with a Timascus pivot collar. I mean, $135, I mean, it's an absolute smoking deal, okay? On paper, looking at it, smoking deal, right? Then I got it in hand, and the damn thing is so well put together. I got to talk a little bit to Sergio, who was behind Kunwu Knives on the social media platforms and whatnot. And the guy's an awesome dude. Kevin and him have talked a lot more than I have. But he is just an awesome, great guy. He was very good at communication in the Kickstarter campaign. Had an open dialogue with a lot of people who had questions and concerns about certain stuff. I mean, these knives did get made in China. And so the shipping, you know, took a while, which it always does. There's always problems with that. But whenever I got my tracking information, it was still a couple of weeks before I actually saw anything, and then it showed up right away. So that was my first experience, first Kickstarter campaign ever, and it was a success in my book because I got a very good quality product for in my opinion, the best deal I think I'll ever get on a knife. It's absolutely amazing. So the design itself, I really like. I love the way this knife looks. As you can see, there is the Kunwu, I guess, maker's mark, and they don't do it as far as laser etching or laser engraving. That's actually milled into the handle of the knife. I think it looks amazing. It came in this really cool box, and some people got a few little extras. The first few, however many that actually supported the campaign. So I didn't do that. I was a little bit late to it, but it comes comes with a really nice little pouch here, microfiber cloth, and all that. So the packaging was good. Really enjoyed it. I mean, and like I said, for the price, gee freaking whiz. But you know, materials, design, that's things we look for, right? And this one hit it on the nail. But how does it function? So it's a flipper, right? Very satisfying. Minimal style flipper on the backside that works 100% of the time. I can, you know, just barely pass this and fail it like that. You know, the almighty detent test or whatever. But if you're holding this knife and you press this flipper tab down, it's going to deploy. However, I like the fact that it has 2 deployment methods because it makes it more fidgety for me. And the back flipper works, and I use it, but I usually will use the front flipper. The front flipper is absolutely spot on as far as the detent. It works really, really well. The jimping that they have on here is not too aggressive, but it gives you enough grip to just put your finger there and just fire it out. And it's really fun. I like front flippers. I know a lot of you guys may not like front flippers, but if you don't like them and you've tried one, I get it. But if you haven't ever tried any, I'd highly recommend it. Because I didn't think I'd like it either. But I really do. It's very fun to do the front flip on a knife. And then when you have a regular flipper to boot, gives you multiple options. You guys know me. I'd rather do the middle finger flick more than anything. But I really, really enjoyed carrying this knife as a fidget guy. I would fidget with this thing all day with the different deployment methods. And the action on the drop. Now, I was able to handle Kevin Lefty EDC's TAO at Blade Show because we met up, we brought some knives. I brought this one, and his drops just a little bit better, but as you can see, like it falls onto my nail, boom, falls like that. But then with the pressure of the lock bar, all I have to do is really just kind of drop and move up, and you can see how it goes. It's not really, it's a shake shut, but just a barely, I mean, it's a really nice, smooth action. If I just go like this, oh, and then it goes. So very nice, smooth action, and it is dead centered. It is rock solid. We did tighten the pivot. Matter of fact, we might have taken this thing totally apart and put a little lube in there. So I can't complain about the action at all. It's amazing. It's not as good as Kevin's. And I don't know what the difference is, but the action is 100% good to go. If mine was like Kevin's, it's mind-blowing, really, his action. As you can see, the really cool design on the pivot. And then you can see, you see how the milling is done around the screw that holds in the lock bar insert? This micro milling that is on this knife, coupled with the orange peel, is absolutely stunning. I like the fact that it's plain, but if you did get one of these, and I believe the price is going to be, when these are available, I believe the price is still going to be an absolute amazing deal, in my opinion. Around $170, maybe $180 from what I've heard. And then one of my favorite front flippers that I got was the Artisan Cutlery Centauri. This, in my opinion, is worlds better and cheaper. So you get a lot of bang for your buck, and I have no regrets whatsoever about this knife. Now, it's also a knife. How does it cut? Guys, this thing is a cardboard cutting machine. The geometry on this blade is done really, really well. It's about 17 thousandths behind the edge. Really nice and thin. It's a full flat grind. The grind lines, you can see, it's it's almost like discolored sometimes, and I don't know what that is as far as my fingerprints and whatnot, but the grind is done very, very well. See if we can get this. You have the TAO, and then this one actually does say first production 104 of 400. So I got that train. So how does it cut? I'm telling you guys, I put this, when I carried this the next day after I got it, I was cutting cardboard, and oh my God, I was like, holy mother. I mean, it slices cardboard phenomenally. It was like it was built to cut cardboard. And any other thing that I put it through, any other packages that I was opening, it cuts the paracord like it's nothing. I don't have a good long piece of the twisted sisal rope. Let's see if I can actually get this to work. Twisted sisal rope always gives knives a hard time, and sometimes it's me and sometimes it's the blade. Cut right through it. Was a little bit of resistance, but it's a nice, really clean cut. I mean, that made it, I mean, for me, I use my knives, but I use them for very little stuff throughout the day, which is, cardboard packages, whatnot, occasionally zip tie. at labels and stuff like that. That's mainly what I use a knife for. But I found myself just going crazy and trying to cut everything that I could because it does such a great job. And that's what a knife's supposed to do, right? It's supposed to cut, and they nailed it. They nailed it in so many areas of this knife. I'm just kind of dumbfounded. Now, how are the ergonomics? You can kind of see it's a very nicely shaped handle. And so I've got this, nice size forward choil, not forward choil, but main choil, and then wrapping my hands around it. And as you can see, even with my big hands, it's a little bit sticking out, but a very comfortable grip. My thumb in this position does land on the jimbing, which I think is done very, very well. And it is very comfortable. The loop over deep carry pocket clip works very well and does not create a hot spot in my hands at all. I don't even hardly feel that it's there. And that's normal for me most of the time, guys, just because my hands are so fat. I mean, it just doesn't bother me most of the time. So this knife, absolutely wonderful ergonomically. But one thing that I really love on a lot of designs nowadays is this little flat area here where I'm able to come up and choke up on the knife like a choil, but it doesn't lock you in. It's just an area to choke up on the knife and get more control. Very comfortable on this knife. I really like those designs these days that have that. Would I rather have a forward finger choil? Yes, ergonomically. But you get a lot of cutting edge on this bad boy, and it's just very well done. You also see just a little bit of touches, golly, camera, of the little chamferings that's on the top right here on the blade. Very nicely done. There are no sharp edges, except for your regular areas, like right there on behind your lock bar and all that stuff. But everywhere else is very nicely chamfered, rounded, and locked up like a bank vault. So this thing, guys, I'm telling you, when they come out, I will have Kunwu knives linked down below. You really need to go check it out, because even at, $135, there is no better deal. If you have a better deal on a knife out there with these materials and this quality, I need to know about it, because I haven't found one. I am very, very impressed with this knife, and so I want you all to go on the Kunwu website and find out when more are available, because I don't think they're going to last long. I really don't, because they're that good. Let's go ahead now and turn the camera around. We'll get a closer look at this guy, size comparisons and specs to compare to other blades in this price range, in this size range of the Kunwu TAO. Oh, righty. Let's get almost dropped it. Let's get a closer look at this guy, shall we? All right, so I kind of showed you a little earlier that Damascus pivot color, the micro milling on some surfaces, and that really nice orange peel titanium on the other. There's a good look at the engraving of their maker's mark, which I think is absolutely amazing. Jimped backspacer, which is not aggressive at all, but will add some grip in some areas and some hand positions. There is your pocket clip. It is done correctly. Inset there. You don't have a whole lot of area there. It's kind of like a, crap. It's not as bad as like a Vero pocket clip as far as clearance, but it is a little tighter, but it works amazingly in the pocket. It's not too wide this way, and so it carries just absolutely amazing. There it is in the circle. Just a beautiful knife, guys. This design spoke to me. I really, really have enjoyed the size, the design, the cutting, all the above, and what we want to look for in a knife. Now, the size is, I would say a full-size knife. It is about 8.26, right around 8 1/4 overall length. The blade length is about 3.5, little over. So you've got a handle of about 4.72. Blade thickness is a relatively thin 130 thousandths, and comes down to 17 thousandths behind the edge. Like I said, I think that's just absolutely amazing. The handle thickness is relatively thin. It's under a 1/2 inch at 0.49. And I think this was the only configuration that you could get them in. They didn't come in any other colors or anything like that. But this is probably what I would have picked anyway. Let's go ahead and see what it is against. Hey, before we do that, I always forget the weight, guys. Just something that I always forget to do. But I remembered this time. So, 8 1/4 inch knife, M390 titanium. What does it weigh? See if I can actually show you inside. There is milling. Oh, where's my flashlight? Where did my flashlight go? There it is. Badow. See if we can, you see those pockets on the inside? So there are lightning pockets on the inside to help reduce the weight. That is very, very nice, especially at the price point. And it weighs about 4.5 ounces. I think that's great. You know, a 3.5-inch blade, 4.5 ounces. It doesn't meet the ounce and inch mark, but it definitely is light enough, I think, for a lot of people's EDC carry, because that's what this is an EDC knife. Let's go ahead and put it up against a couple other EDC knives we have. Some staples that you might already know what the size are. This is the PM2. Very PM2 in size. Overall, definitely a different design. I believe this carries a lot better. Now you can put deep carry pocket clips on the PM2s and they carry really, really well. This just has this little hump here. I don't mind that, but this one definitely does carry thinner in the pocket. Another great EDC knife, but your lightweight version, but also very comparable in size is the TRM Atom. Very, very nice. All three of these make just great EDC knives. I love them all, but this is a very good size comparison to give you an idea of what you're getting. I definitely stay tuned to Lefty EDC's channel because he will be getting a mini TAO, so you can see the differences. Now, the only other front flipper that I have in the collection at the moment is this big boy here, the 523, and as you can see, it definitely is smaller than the 523, but the 523 is gigantic, and I love it. But similar, you've got a little bit wider blade here. This kind of looks like a folding kitchen knife. This is your typical drop point. You got flat with a little bit of belly, full flat grind. This one comes out, it drops a little bit differently than this one does. Two very beautiful knives, and I just can't get over the value that is in this thing. Remember, I keep saying it, $135, holy crap. And I know a lot of people are bummed once they saw these that they could have gotten this at $135, but dude, if they come in at $170, that's still the deal of the century, in my opinion, for the quality, the intricacies of this knife, and the materials used at $170, even at $180. I think this is a steal. A lot of times I don't say that. I mean, a lot of knives I think are still worth the price that they are, but as far as actually being a really good deal, this is one of the first that I really think, especially on the Kickstarter campaign, that was a no-brainer. Less than a stock S30V PM2, which this is not, but, less money than that. I'm sorry. It just kind of blew me away, especially when I got it and was able to experience it. How much I love this thing and how much you are truly going to be happy if you pick one of these things up. 100% recommendable knife right here. And I hope to see these out in the market soon, and a lot of them out there, because I just think this is going to take a lot of people by storm, and just be like, wow, this is going to set the standard for other companies to be able to create this quality at that price point. So, Sergio, I really appreciate everything that you did, man, during this Kickstarter campaign and your communication with everybody. You are the man. I really have enjoyed talking to you. Thank you, Kevin, Lefty EDC, for telling me about this so I was able to participate, because holy crap, I would have never known this thing existed if it weren't for Kevin. So, guys, go check out Kunwu Knives down in the description and get on some kind of a mailing list or email list to find out when these come in stock and buy one. Guys, stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.